Today I was able to walk my student through some surface area and volume work. We were at first given some basic questions. 1 centimeter, 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter cube. It was a 2 by 2 by 2 cube. How would the surface area and volume change? And then we calculated the volume would be 1, surface area would be 6, and then the volume of here would be 8. And the surface area would be 24. So we found that if the dimensions are doubled, volume would be increased by 8 times and surface area would be increased by 4 times. We did some, after we did a bit of volume work, we did some conceptual problems such as which one would lose heat faster if there was a cup that was smaller than a large pot, and there's coffee. Which one would coffee cool faster in? And then I told her it was the cup, and it was because even though the surface area, which is needed to release heat into the environment, the surface area of the cup is smaller, the surface area to volume ratio is higher. The surface area per amount of liquid in there is higher, so therefore it would lose heat faster than if the cup was in the pot. And I just kind of ignored insulation and if the pot of the lid because I kind of guessed that they were going to talk about surface area versus volume. And then we also talked about weight. How much would weight change based on if the dimensions of an object were doubled? Going back to the 1 by 1 by 1 cube example, and the 2 by 2 by 2. I told her that if there are 2 cubes and they're made of the same material, aka if their densities were the same, how would the weight change? Well, if density is mass times volume, and if the densities are the same, then we can assume that M2 are. We can assume that the larger the volume, the higher the mass. So if the density, let's say, was 1, the volume of the first cube would also be 1, and the mass would be 1 kilogram. And the density of the second cube was also 1. The volume was 8. Then we can say the mass was 8 kilograms. So that's how I kind of showed it's similar. The weight of the cube is similar. It's related to the volume by 8 times based on dimensions, because when you do the equation to find volume, aka length times width times height, if you compare the two, you see that there's 2 3 times there, so the 2 cubed makes it 8 times larger if the dimensions are doubled, and if they're tripled, it's 3 cubed, and so on and so forth. And I think that's it.